It started when he was in daycare. And 4 years old, and I noticed then that he was not picking up and not comprehending things that he should at the age of 4/5 to get ready to get yourself prepared for kindergarten. So with that, I started asking questions. What do I need to do? I think he needs to be tested. I think he's having a speech problem. And the reason why I was able to identify it so early in his young age, because I had that too. I said, I know how this can go. They say, no, Mom, you're going to be okay. So I was like, okay. So we got to kindergarten. We got to first grade. And I kept asking the school system, okay, are you going to help me? Well, yes, we see what you're talking about, Mom, but so what we need to do is just start documenting, getting paperwork together to show that he has a pattern. And I'm like, okay, I'm trusting that y'all are going to do this. And in that trusting that, my health failed. I lost my hearing, I lost my eyesight, my body started shutting down, so I was not as visible and vocal at the school to make sure they was doing what they were doing, but they kept reassuring me, oh, Mom, we're doing it. So by his second grade, we found out it wasn't done. I went to my son's doctor. He wrote up a letter to get service, and he said he needs it. You got to catch it early in their daycare years, in the early elementary years. And so that's the reason why I had to fight so hard, because of the background of my education, of already knowing that if he doesn't get it now, while he's young, he's going to fall through the cracks. And I refuse to let my son, a young man, to fall through the crack because other people would not take up, make a stand to do what was right. And I had to call my husband in as well, because it felt like I was being unheard. It's like I was being overlooked. And I felt like, people were just taking advantage of me. We are advocating for our children, but during that time with my son, it was like I had to be like 10 people fighting in like 10 different organizations that fights for children's rights and be that advocate to speak up for the children, because it was very hard. I had to take on the responsibility to do what the teachers and the school administration supposed to have done. With my sickness, I still had to come up to the school. I was in pain, taking pain medication, walking with my walking stick, and trying to get to the school and be in the classroom to see what they supposed to be doing, even through my sickness, and I had to go to work. I had to tell my jobs that time, I need to leave. I need to leave because the teacher's supposed to be in there at 10 o'clock to pull them out. I'm getting tired of coming home and my son telling me that, oh, the teacher didn't come in today. No, she was there in the building, but they didn't come and get me. And it just didn't make sense. Why are you giving your word and in your policy and your handbook say that you give this service, but you're not doing it? And it's just even harder for other parents that have to work and they don't have the funds to say, hey, you know what, I go to a private school or I go somewhere else, when your tax dollars, our tax dollars, are helping to support to have those extra people to come in to have that service for your children. It was hard and it was heartbreaking. And going up there through the pain, through the tears, and trying to put a smile on your face and trying to make sure that your child get the service that they needed. So by that end of that school year, before the winter break, I just had enough. I really did. I had enough. And I pulled them out. I was doing some research, trying to find a charter school. I found a charter school in the Clayton County area. But when we got here to Utopian Academy, I let them know that my child has an IEP, and do y'all have people on staff that would assist him in what he needs? They assured me that they will have that when school opened. And of course, the school went through some hard time opening up, but I stuck with the school. And then by the time the school was able to open up, the classes got to flowing and everything. I met the speech teacher, I met his reading teacher, his math teacher, and they was awesome. It was a challenge because now he's on middle school grade level teaching. So him being so far behind, but they worked with him by the first of the year of his second half of the 6th grade, we saw big improvements. He was coming home, he wouldn't even tell me he had projects that need to be done. He gets on that computer, he was able to copy and paste and read it and put things together. And I'm like, well, Xavier, do you need me to help you? No, Mom, I got it. I'm like, are you sure? I said, well, let me read what you did and everything. I let it read. I said, you sure you didn't have any help? Did you ask your big sister to help you? No, Mom, I did it all by myself. His speech teacher said that, you know what, your son is getting the student of the month. He's beating out the other kids. I said, really? So he'll come home with his little goodie bag. He was so excited. And I'm like, wow, Xavier, really? He said, yeah, Mom. So when the state went from the CRCT test, they went to the Georgia milestones, I think where they had to do a lot of writing and everything. So I said, Xavier, how did you do? Was it kind of hard for you? No, Mama, they asked me for 1 page. I gave them 2 pages. I said, what? I said, well, you go. And I said, well, I got to get you a treat for this. What do you want? He said, well, I want a basketball. Being here at Utopian Academy for the Arts, it has opened my son up so much. It was just that mother joy to see, you know, that next level of what you always want them to know, that learning is fun, reading is fun. You can take your mind in so many different places. And like I say, he joined the student council and ran for treasurer. He did all his poster, he got his wording together. He just really was totally focused, and he got up and read his speech, his presentation in front of all the student body, the 6th and the 7th graders. And even the people in the office came back and told me, Mom, your son knocked it out the box. He did good. You know, what seemed like a dark and dreary path going down, as I can truly say I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm glad for school choice. And actually, I didn't know that much about school choice and everything, but I'm glad that it came in my path of searching for another alternative school for my son. Even with my daughter, it's where I wish I had it, and by that time that I got to my son, I was able to find out about those choices. But for her, it was too late for some of those choices. I even had pulled her out of the Clayton County school system and went to another county and let her stay with my relatives so that she can get a better education in their public school system and everything. She did that for a year. So that's how desperate I was in finding good quality education for my children because it wasn't fair. The school choice, I tell you, I'm 100% supporter. Find something else for your kid. You're not stuck. You're not stuck at the public school level. If you know that your child is unique in some kind of way, it's other things out there for your child. Xavier's eyes got open when he started coming here. He saw the biggest, where the sky is not the limit. You can keep going. And it has made a big difference with me, my husband, my daughter, our whole household has really, just going from, on the tense edge, what can we do, worrying and stressing out that your child is gonna get a good education. We feel good that he's on the right path now. We feel good that, it is a brighter future for him. And he won't have those limitations holding him back of his self-confidence, that he's not able to do it. His confidence has raised over 100% on the Richter scale. I feel like he finally feel like he fits. He has a place, and he's not an outsider anymore. And so with that school choices, and it just made a big difference, a big change, and I'm 100% a supporter. I'm one proud mama, so I'm happy.